This is the Eye for an Eye channel. Welcome to today's show. I've covered the government shutdowns all the time when they occur. We have had buildup to a government shutdown for quite some time. They've used predictive programming, which I've shown you in movies of a government shutdown and using the narrative as if, oh, we're not going to foot the bill, right? Which is exactly the narrative the Republicans are playing right now. Everybody needs to remember that these people are all in secret societies, Republicans and Democrats, members of Freemasonry and other way higher up secret societies. They are sabotaging the government on purpose. That is everything you're seeing. All the crimes being committed where no one's being held accountable, the prices of everything, inflation. All of these things are done by design. The IRS coming after people who aren't paying their taxes. Okay, you might say, well, those are things that normally happen. No, these are not things that normally all happen at the same time. It is called sabotage. It is happening by design at the same time because they're going to destroy this government and bring in a new government. Hence the motto of Freemasonry and the secret societies, order out of chaos. And they're about to create the chaos in more ways than one. While we all feel this looming, all this horrible stuff going on, everybody could feel it, no matter what your political beliefs are. Everybody could feel that something is coming, and it is. The government, once again, is going to go into a shutdown on October 1st. As October 4th looms and many other things loom, they are preparing you for this. I have shown you things in the past. I'll show you the predictive programming again later in the video, but here's what's going on. And of course, CNN is promoting this with a countdown clock. So they're promoting the doom and gloom. In other words, they're promoting it so that you're prepared and conditioned for more chaos to come because the government shut down. They're trying to make people panic. Now, in the past, they've done this, and everybody's kind of just been like, oh, wait, is something big going to go on? And nothing's happened. But have things ever looked more ripe and ready for them to create some type of chaotic event, like a fake attack or something along those lines, while these people are all underground, officially underground, so they don't have to be held accountable and they won't have to show face anywhere because none of them will be in Washington? They'll all be underground. Yeah, it looks like the timing is pretty convenient. Take a look at what's going on.
Americans bracing for a government shutdown after a House GOP stopgap spending bill failed on the floor just a few hours ago.
Now, millions of service members and government employees who rely on government paychecks are preparing for the worst as Republican lawmakers struggle to reach an agreement. And the deadline for a deal is less than 24 hours away. Rick Chambers live in the News Center with more on the cause of the controversy tonight. Rick.
Yeah, Mike, a shutdown at this point just looks inevitable. Republicans over in the House seem to be in disarray. They have been meeting tonight. They're trying to hammer out a deal just within their own party, but a small faction is not cooperating.
I firmly believe there are no winners in a government shutdown.
But that's where we seem to be headed. Government funding runs out at midnight Saturday, and a vote in the House today on what's called a continuing resolution, a stopgap measure to head off a shutdown, fell short.
On this vote, the yeas are 198, the nays are 232. The bill is not passed.
Speaker McCarthy had tried to push through a CR that slashed spending and severely restricted immigration. But 21 members of his own party voted with Democrats and said no, a further sign of congressional dysfunction and what may be McCarthy's weakening grip on the speakership.
The extreme MAGA Republicans are the only ones who are on an island right now, and they can't even get their act together amongst themselves.
A shutdown would furlough millions of government workers and contractors without pay. Essential employees, like members of the military and Border Patrol agents, would still stay on the job, but again, with no pay, as would air traffic controllers and TSA agents. Social Security payments would continue, but other programs like food subsidies would reduce benefits, while food prices could rise. Wall Street would likely take a hit, while dollars for farmers' crop insurance and home flood insurance would abruptly dry up. So, too, would money for Ukraine. There is, however, still a glimmer of hope on Capitol Hill.
We're not going to let people lose pay for their families, miss bill payments, especially our service members. We can't let it happen. We do hear you and see you.
But time is running out, and Speaker McCarthy's job appears to be in peril.
I pledged in taking this job to change Washington, to stand up for the American public.
And that's exactly what we're doing.
Tonight, though, millions of anxious Americans might disagree.
So California's own Kevin McCarthy in kind of a tough spot right now. He claims that he doesn't want to shut down, but if he deals with the Democrats, it may cost him his job. And keep in mind, the last government shutdown was 5 years ago. That one lasted 34 days.
So again, on top of that, we have CNN. I mean, this is just laughable at this point, right? Hours away from the U.S. government shutting down. Now, most people out there, I know you're going to comment, and people probably already have because they probably haven't even gotten to this point in the video. Most people only listen for a few minutes because the attention span's not there anymore, and that's fine. Well, I can't do anything about that. But if you are still listening, a lot of people will comment and they'll be like, that's good. Let them shut down. They're all crooks and criminals. Well, guess what? The government has been shut down. They haven't been working for us. That's pretty clear for quite some time. But the reason that this matters is because now they can announce things like this and actually go forward with more chaos, and then we can blame it on each other because conservatives and Democrats are going to blame conservatives for shutting the government down, and conservatives are going to blame Democrats for the corruption, and vice versa. And again, hence order out of chaos, right? It'll start looking like the purge out there. You heard some of the things in that video clip about what we could expect, right? Inflation will get worse. Of course it will, because they're trying deliberately to make everybody go broke. This is done by design, okay? This is all done by design. They don't care what your political affiliation is. They convince the Democrats that, oh yeah, you know, everything is up and prices are up, and all the Republican people are the ones who aren't paying their taxes, who have a lot of money, and there's no truth behind any of it. They're making everybody broke on every level. People who are lower income don't understand how much of a tax burden and what the taxes are really like for people with a larger income, and vice versa as far as people who have money don't understand what it's like. So, I mean, the whole thing is just everybody pointing a finger at one another instead of pointing a finger at the people who are supposed to be held accountable. You know, the people working for us. So these actors are all playing their role. And we've seen this before and what it could potentially look like with a government shutdown, from purge movies to other TV shows. Here's a little bit of the predictive programming.
We will not vote to keep on footing the bill. You will be held responsible for shutting down the federal government. Then shut it down.
We don't submit to terror. We make the terror.
All the hatred and violence that they keep up inside them.
It is a night that is defining our country.
Citizens, this will be a tradition we celebrate every year. Join the first purge.
People are now calling this controversial experiment of legalized crime the purge.
Is the purge a political device?
It is a psychological one. If we want to save our country, we must release all our anger in one night.
At the siren, all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 hours.
There's a lot of...
Your government thanks you for your participation.
You're sending soldiers into the island disguised as citizens.
This country needs for this to work.
After tonight, nothing will ever be the same again.
So that's what we could possibly expect. Now, don't forget, October 4th is looming. I talked about this a few weeks ago. Of course, that video is now on the website because I have to remove videos after 7 days, because once the algorithm gets wind of the videos and goes through like it's a computer checkup software deal, then, you know, I go bye-bye. So that's what I have to do. But I want everyone to be aware that I've talked about this for years with the government shutdowns. They've been prepping and conditioning and desensitizing. Every single thing that they do, they show you in advance to desensitize you from these events, so that when they do occur, you kind of shrug your shoulders and you're like, oh, okay. And then already put in place have been the seeds for who you can blame, okay? Instead of just being like everybody together being like, wait a minute, aren't we funding this with our tax money? They planted seeds over and over and over. Who's going to take the blame for it? Conservatives are going to take the blame for it, right? So it works perfectly because every single conservative is looking around going, what in the world is going on in this country because of the insanity by the Democrats? Well, now the Democrats have a bigger reason to point a finger at conservatives. You shut the government down. And then what happens? Boom, something occurs, right? This is what it's looking like with October 4th looming, in my opinion. Now, it doesn't mean anything. You know, you can look at this and be like, well, nothing will end up happening. A lot of people say it. Well, if nothing ends up happening, just realize you're being desensitized again for a bigger event before 2030. Because I will tell you right now, something big is going down before 2030, okay? And it wasn't the outbreak that just occurred, and it's not the next outbreak and the next wave of these things. Yes, the climate and all those things tie into it. There's going to be a boogeyman blamed at the end of the day who won't have to take accountability for it, and the people will look around and they'll start blaming each other for it. That's exactly how all of this works. They keep us looking at each other, blaming one another for all these things. Remember, nobody even has the mindset anymore. These people, the money they have, you look at all these celebrities, they're at multiple homes. They're supposed to be making like very low, like six figures, which isn't low, but in today's climate with the prices of everything, I mean, you aren't going to save much. But let's just say they're all supposed to make $100,000, $150,000. I don't even think they're supposed to make that much. Okay, they're all rich, all of them. And even if they're not, if they're openly saying, "Oh, I only make $80,000," isn't it convenient they all have a lot of money or come from a background of a lot of money, which means they're very likely have gone through secret societies? Oh, wait, not very likely. They all did. Okay? And it's amazing that we look at this and we're not going, they're supposed to be working for us. Okay, let's have a revolution, because all we see is high school drama and politics. And everybody out there feeds into it and buys into it, which is why I criticize all these alt-right channels. People are like, you're just jealous of I'm not jealous, because I've been there before. I've had many, many views. I don't care about that. Okay, I care about the truth getting out. And these people keep you trapped in this stuff with blaming one another. If they stopped those people and they allowed people like me there would be a revolution. Okay, there would be a revolution, because people will go, yeah, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. These people we're paying taxes for these people to work for us. And all they're doing is going out on TV, going on the late night shows and being dramatic, going in the House, being dramatic, the things with Lauren Boebert at the movie theater. These things all get out by design. How does that get out? Unless they want it out. They want this to be a high school circus so that they can constantly keep people hurted and distracted and blaming each other. These people are supposed to be our employees. Does it look like they're serving us? No, it does not. It doesn't look like they're doing anything. And that's exactly what they want. Because then when everything collapses, we could all blame each other and say, oh my gosh, look, we voted for these people. We're responsible, when your vote never counted and you didn't elect any of these frauds. They put themselves there. This is the secret societies working. That's what they don't want you to know, and that's what they don't want you to hear. They don't want you to realize that they're in cahoots. Why do you think there's so many pictures of them being buddy-buddy? And everyone's like, oh, they were just smiling for a camera. Oh, Trump with Hillary Clinton, oh, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody wants to believe it. If everybody realized how secret societies work, how they network, and how they've got total control of all of this, then they go, okay, first of all, we need to start by disbanding all these secret societies. But before we even do that, we should probably get to Congress, we should get to Washington, and we should just say, look, we're not doing some violent revolution or anything like that. You're all gone. Well, none of us are funding this charade anymore, because you're clearly showing us that none of this is real, that you're just acting, because you're not working. You're not working. We shouldn't be paying these prices. We shouldn't be dealing with this and dealing with that. We shouldn't have the IRS down our throat. Okay, why do you think they're doing all this stuff? Why do you think the IRS nonsense is out there where they keep saying they hire more IRS agents? Oh, the IRS agents are now armed. They're putting fear into your mind, because they know people are going to naturally say, you know what, I'm not paying taxes anymore, because what we're seeing is a government that's not working and they're not being held accountable. So the only way you can hold them accountable would be not paying your taxes. So they're fear-mongering people into paying it, because they're going, oh, okay, so they keep funding this nonsense because they're afraid that the IRS is going to show up at their front door, like Bill Cooper. When they went to his house, the IRS, and just shot him. Why'd they do that? Well, because Bill Cooper was exposing a lot. So this stuff that we see going on here is eventually going to happen. People are going to probably get me if nothing happens this week. They'll be like, see, you said that's not. But this will be the last one. This would be the last conditioning for the final one before 2030. Okay, but I believe that this thing is lining up very well with the October 4th shutdown. It's very convenient. Not shutdown. The October 4th emergency alert. So you're going to have an emergency alert go out on the 4th, and everyone's going to say, oh, it's just a test. I'm not going to worry. You're going to have the frequencies coming out of the phone, which is one thing. And then on the other side, you got to look at this. The government's going to be shut down. Oh, wow. So there's emergency tests going on. The government's shut down. And what if an event actually occurs? Oh, order out of chaos. Their motto. Keep an eye on this story. Look at the countdown. These are the things that people need to understand. Okay, they're not doing, people, that's the thing. That's what drives me nuts. The alt-right and all these people who think they're awake. They're always like, oh, they're doing this for money. Oh, they're doing that to just get clicks. CNN is a countdown for clicks. They don't care about that stuff. It's about conditioning. They don't care about money. It's about control. Okay, those are the things that matter. Control, condition, groom, herd the masses. It's a giant psychological war going on. And if people could break free from that, it could be stopped. revolutions can occur. And they hear that, that's a threat to democracy. It's not even a democracy, it's a republic. That's how dumb people are. Oh, it's a threat to democracy. They're not even calling it what it is because it's not even in place anymore. And these idiots don't even think about it and go, wait a minute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Wait, what? Oh, and to the republic for which it stands? Oh, wait, is it to the democracy for which it stands? Because no, it's not. No, it's not. So they've even changed what the structure of this is supposed to be. That's how close they are to destroying the whole thing altogether. But it's already destroyed. They just want to make sure with these things that you blame one another, not them. That's why these things occur. These psychological events like a government shutdown are in place with seeds planted to blame the conservatives for doing it, and the conservatives blaming the liberals for all the money going to Ukraine. These narratives that are out in the open for a reason. So that those are the things that people immediately start doing. And then who do you point a finger at when these people are underground? Oh, one another, your neighbor, people up the road, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, people who, can't get this, can't get that. They got to start looting and robbing. Conveniently, they want all stores and everything shut down. That'll be a separate video. I've done this over and over, talked about these things. But people need to remember these things. This is all done by design, psychologically. So keep an eye on the story. Keep an eye on the countdown. What an utter joke that people buy into this stuff. I thank you all for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always and your families.